Welcome to the Encouragement Zone with Bishop T. Davis Jr. where your dreams are revived.
Good morning. I want to welcome everyone this morning for tuning in to the Encouragement Zone. Me, Pastor Scottie, sitting in for Bishop Davis today. We got a great topic we want to share with you today, some great information. Tune in. Don't go to the bathroom. Don't go to the kitchen. Stay right there because we want to share something with you today. We have with us today Jared Carter. He's the project manager for AMRV RC&D. So, Jared, just tell them who you are and what you do.
Sure. So, AMRV RC&D, that's a lot of letters, but it stands for Alabama's Mountains, Rivers, and Valleys Resource Conservation and Development. So that's a long name, but if all you remember from that is RC&D, that's all you need to know. And so we do a lot. We cover 8 counties in the Northeast Alabama region, and we do a lot. So we do community development, we do agricultural projects, environmental education projects, and recreation projects as well. And so our big mission is basically to give back to the community in any way we can, and we do that through several ways. And one big way that we do is through community project funds. And so every year we have a grant cycle kind of thing where a lot of organizations, nonprofits, towns, anybody that kind of fits in that category can write a grant, and whatever project they need, they can potentially get funding for. And these can be from anything. We've done school projects, we've done playground equipment, we've done firefighting equipment, and all that kind of stuff. And so really, anything goes. Our big mission is really more geared towards conservation, but also community development. Also, really just giving back to what the community needs.
So, with these community grants, Jared, you provide funds to help community with their projects.
Sure.
And being a part of the board, I'm on a board with RCD with Jared. He's our project manager, so we need we go to Jared. But just being a part of the board myself. Over, I think, 10 years. About 10 years now. And at first, when I was elected to the board, I was like, I don't think I want to be a part of this. I mean, how is it going to help? How is that going to help someone in the field that I'm in? And after several years, I saw that these grants change community lives, bring the community together. We help with the farmers, we help the fire departments, the police departments. We even help school, the outdoor classroom. So if you have a project that you want funded, hey, just holler at Jared or myself. Being on board, I'm over small towns. I help most of all Lawrence County. So if you need help in your area, your community, with your parks or whatever, we definitely will help you. So Jared, tell us a little bit about your agriculture program.
Sure. So one of the big things we like to do is educate our farmers in the area. Because what we found over the years is, not in any fault of the farmers themselves, but some farm practices have caused, land erosion and stuff like that, which also causes water quality, poor water quality conditions. And so what we really like to do is have a couple of programs that really get farmers in the best situation, both profitability, having them make money, but also making sure their land's sustainable. So we do that one way through small farmer workshops, and that's we put on about 10 of these workshops a year, and they range from a lot of topics. So they could be geared more towards the farmer sustainability on the business side of things. So we've had workshops where we train farmers how to best put up their farmers market booth, how to make a farmers market booth attractive so you get more customers. And so we're putting more money in their pockets that way. But we also train them on how to prevent soil erosion on your property, or how to build a greenhouse on your property. And so we do, like I said, we do about 10 of these across our 8 county areas. And we also point them into some other programs that help them out, like NRCS or FSA. So that's Natural Resource Conservation Service or Farm Service Agency, to make sure they're sustainable, meaning make sure their profits go on indefinitely and make sure their land goes on indefinitely. So it's very healthy in both ways.
Right. So Jared, that's I'm telling you, this information, Jared gonna really share some more with you about that. But he's like the GOAT of project management. He's great about that. I know he's definitely a great guy. Got great information. So actually, Jared, we got an event coming up soon, don't we?
We do, yeah. So August 26th here in Lawrence County at Wheeler Chapel Church.
Actually here.
Actually here.
That's right.
In this location, yeah. So actually here. And this one is towards small farmer workshops, or really any, if you own land at all, and are interested in having wildlife on your land, whether you're a hunter or you just like wildlife in your area, to manage your land to attract deer, turkey, and quail. And so that includes stuff like planting food plots, prescribed burns and that kind of stuff, and a lot of different information that you can take to make sure those populations and those habitats are on your property. So if you're interested in that, then August 26th here at Wheeler Chapel Church at 6 to 8 p.m.
So Jared, could you share them? How can they get the information and be able to register? Or?
Sure, yeah, sure. Yeah, so we have a website, and it's all those letters I mentioned before, amrvrcd.org, or we have a Facebook page at amrvrcnd. And we have these Facebook events that you can register there, or you can register online at our website.
So this information also will be at the end of the broadcast. It'll be, so you can look at the end of the broadcast and see the information about register. If they don't register, could they still come? And how does that work? Could they still come?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Because it's the time we're in and because of COVID and all that stuff, we like you to register so we know how much people to expect. And we also usually provide dinner. But if you show up, we're not going to turn you away.
Right, absolutely. So that's great. So the next thing we're going to talk about is our Veteran Farmers Conference. So you want to kind of elaborate on that?
Yeah, and so we have kind of two programs for this. We're in North Alabama, and we have a high population of veterans in our area. I mean, we have Huntsville that has a Redstone Arsenal, and just because of that, we have a population spread out through North Alabama of veterans. And what we found is there's a growing number of veteran farmers out there, people that have come back from service and are looking to get into some kind of business or some kind of field, and a lot of them choose agriculture. And a lot of times it's because agriculture sort of ties in with their service. It's mission driven, but also it has a therapeutic component to it, right? You're outdoors, you're working with your hands, and something good comes of it. And so because of that, and because of the people we've talked to through these workshops, we found that there's a lot of interest from the veterans to actually farm and learn how to farm and stuff like that. So every year we put on a veteran farmer conference, and in the past couple of years, it's been at Wallace State Community College. And we've seen the numbers grow, and we've seen about 200 veteran farmers show up at one of these conferences. Wow. So we're going to continue that. And at these conferences, we just tell them, we educate them on what programs are out there for them, both to help them fund their projects on their land, and also train them in agricultural practices.
I think that's great, Jared. Just having concern for our veterans. Who probably say, hey, I served for many years, but it's something else I want to explore, something else I want to do. So if you have any veterans out there, loved ones or cousins or whoever, hey, encourage them to just follow the website and be a part of this event. Jerry doing a great job with this. Like I said, you want to apply for a grant, you have a project. Like I said, the information will be at the end of the broadcast. Get the information, get your application. Can we tell them about the application process or what the time?
Yeah. So the applications themselves, so you can ask, about $3,000 to $10,000 is kind of the grant limits there. And our grant cycle opens from April to about June or July. So keep your eye open on our website for that. And so when you do apply for it, it's just a pretty simple one-page application. All we're looking for is a good project and kind of tell us how you spend the money and what you're going to spend it on. And we will have priorities. I think last year our priorities were something like conservation education, first responders, and senior citizen projects. So every year we'll have these kind of priorities. if you don't fit in those priorities, it doesn't mean you're not going to get funded. It just means that those are kind of what we're going to use to base our decisions off of.
And, Jared, I was thinking just being a board member, and I was like, how can this fit in with the kind of work I do? I'm a full-time youth pastor. The Bible always talk about, going throughout the world and preach the gospel to every creature. I'm just using that part. The gospel is good news. So what we're doing through RC&D, AMRV, we sharing the good news that your community can be better. I mean, it's good news that, hey, I can get a grant to help my community, to help seniors, to help the policemen, to help firemen, to help the farmers. So that's good news. And, and Jesus also said, when you done unto the least of these, you done unto me. So when we help the people that need help, the community need help, I think God is pleased with that. And I think, I know without a shadow of a doubt, just being a part of this organization, it really changed my life, my family, the community. If it wasn't life changing, I wouldn't be in it. I'm for real. So I just thank God for the opportunity just to be a part of a great organization. And we trying to spread this word to let everyone know that it's not limited on a certain group or certain people. It's for anybody. Whosoever will, let them come.
We've had really good projects coming at us that are meeting some real needs. And so you talk about good news. I mean, it's good news when fire departments can have the gear that they need to rescue people.
That's right.
It's good news when you build a playground where handicapped children can play.
That's right.
a lot of these projects are community developed, right? You're in the community, you see your own need, and that's what you're feeling. So you're meeting the needs of the people that you know.
Right. And you got senior citizens who can't really get out and go to the grocery store or plant a garden. And that's what RC do. We give grants for community gardens where they can go out and, have the vegetables, tomatoes, onions, corn, whatever. So I'm telling y'all, this organization is a great organization. And like I said, please just follow up with this right here, the information that you'll be receiving later on. And just contact either myself or Jared and or the office, and definitely be a blessing. So Jared, let's just talk about the last one, the Addie's Veteran Therapy Forum.
Sure. Yeah, this kind of branched out from our veteran farmer conference. So the more veterans we talked to, the more we found out suffered from things like PTSD or other service-related conditions, or maybe they weren't diagnosed with anything. They just felt the need to have some kind of therapy. So, maybe your counseling therapy is not for everybody, but what we have seen is just getting your hands dirty, just digging in the dirt, just planting something and harvesting something is very therapeutic. Just spending some time outdoors with fellow veterans, that's therapy for them. And we learned that through this group, and so we developed this program to connect veterans to farms. So if you're a veteran and you're in an urban area and you don't have access to a farm, well, we can connect you with a farm. So that maybe on the weekend, if you feel, tension build up and you just want to get out and do something, or you can find a farm and get out and do something and kind of get your hands dirty and kind of relieve some of that stress. And so we've developed what we call therapy farms. They're just veteran-owned farms for the most part that allow other veterans to come and help them out and grow stuff and tend livestock and stuff like that. And so there's a handful. I mean, statewide we have 25, and it started in this area through our program, through our organization. And so we have about 12 farms that veterans can go to in North Alabama.
So that's great. That's a great program. So like I said again, if you have a veteran, whether it's a dad or brother or sister, whoever, they need that therapy after serving this country. There's other ways than just pushing them out in the yard or taking them to the park. But let them be a part of this agriculture plan that Jared had talked about. So when we come back, stay tuned. When we come back, we're gonna share with you about some more projects and more environmental projects. So Jared, are you ready for the next half?
I'm ready.
So go get you something to drink, use the restroom, and come right back.
Hello and welcome to God's Temple Food Truck. We're located on Sparkman in the Best Way parking lot. We're right down the street from Walmart, across the street from O'Reilly's. You can meet us there any day on Thursday, Friday, or Saturday at 11:30 a.m. We're there till the food is gone at the hot pink food trailer. We'd love to see you there. Come by and see us.
We want to welcome you back to the Encouragement Zone. Thank you for tuning in and staying with us. Again, like I said, we're going to share about some environmental programs we got. Like I said, I got the GOAT right here, the greatest, going to be the greatest of all time, with the project manager, Jared Carter from RC&D AMRV. So, Jared, let's just jump right in it. Let's talk about the environmental education program. I know that's your baby.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know about this, so just tell them what you want them to know about your environmental education program, which is an awesome program.
Sure, and it's funny. So I started out in this job as an education assistant at the Waterworks Center before I became a project manager. Right. And so that's what I was brought on for. I have an environmental science background. And so, yeah, it is kind of my baby. I mean, it's more so, it was developed about 10 years ago before I came on board. But the building itself, the Environmental Education Center itself, is actually an old Hartselle City drinking water treatment facility. Yeah. And so the source water for that's Flint Creek. But Flint Creek just ended up being too polluted to even treat for drinking water anymore. Right. So that center was shut down. And so AMRV purchased that about 10 years ago and transformed it. Yeah, for $1. So the city just wanted to kind of get rid of it. So the nonprofit bought it for just change.
Right.
But a lot of effort into it, a lot of love into it, a lot of money into it to transform it what it is today, which is an environmental education center.
That's right.
And so what we do now is we teach children, we teach students about how to be an environmental steward, and what does it mean for water to be polluted. And so we actually still pump water. We still treat it as a drinking water treatment facility, only not drinking water. But we run it through a series of wetlands, so it actually cleans the water as it runs through our education center, and then we return it back to Flint Creek as clean water. So Flint Creek itself is polluted with stuff like agricultural runoff, like pollution, fertilizer, pesticide, herbicide, but also stormwater runoff, your gasoline and oil pollution, and then a big problem it has is mercury pollution. Right. And so in fact, if you look at a state fish advisory, it's not safe to eat any fish in the Flint Creek because of mercury poisoning. Yeah.
So in the Flint Creek, right there, you can't eat. You recommend them not to eat fish out there.
Oh yeah, the state recommends them not.
The state listen. That makes it. The state recommends you not to eat the fish out of Flint Creek. Now, that's not me and Jared and RCD. That's the state saying that. So I want to make that clear.
Sure. Yeah.
That the state saying. I mean, I know people probably that's up to you, but the state recommended. I'm gonna get that out. So if you catch a lot of the Flint Creek was known for catching crappie. Mm-hmm. So that's gonna be pretty tough, Jerry. Not to.
Well, the only reason I say that is just to prove how polluted Flint Creek is.
Right.
And then through our center, we actually clean the water and return it. Now we're not cleaning Flint Creek completely, but we're showing the students that it can be done.
Right. Absolutely, and you're right. It can be done because some early years on RC&D they had catfish. We still got that over there. Mm-hmm. Had catfish in this. What's the name of that thing in the back? I can't.
That wetland sail.
The wetland sail. Yeah, the wetland sail had catfish. So we had a meeting up there one day, and they wanted to catch catfish. So we caught, me and Mike Bolden and 3 of us, we caught some catfish out there, and we had a catfish dinner. So the water was treated, and the catfish was great. So, but like I said, do not go catch fish out of. We didn't go to Flint Creek and catch it. We caught it right there in our own facility, our wetland area where we treat the water, and the fish is great. So Jared, the fish. We need to do that again.
Yeah, we do. and also, so we have aquariums and we have turtles there too, and so we want it to be pretty hands-on, right? Yes. So we want kids to come there and really fall in love with nature. That's the whole point.
Right.
So we have turtles that they can handle, little small turtles. And we have a big composting, worm composter so they can dig around for worms. And a lot of these kids are coming from fairly urban areas, Decatur, Huntsville, and all around. Yeah. But they've never done this stuff before. They've never held a worm or they've never held a turtle.
Right.
And so we teach them about all this stuff. And then we actually take middle school and up canoeing. So we actually canoe on Flint Creek, so they can see firsthand the pollution, but also firsthand the wildlife that's a part of Flint Creek. So as much as Flint Creek is polluted, it's also still a great place for wildlife because it's tied into the Wheeler Wildlife Refuge. And so we take these kids and first time they've been in the wild, and it's not very far from a highway, but to them it's the wild.
Wild kids in the wild.
Yes.
So if your child wild, let them experience the wild. And Jared got a great tour. Actually, Jared, we went canoeing. I brought some youth from our church canoeing. It was funny. You seen kids going in the trees.
Yeah.
We didn't turn one over that day, but
no.
But I guess the whole point is our kids had a different life experience other than being on the basketball court or the football field or the volleyball court. They experienced a while. They still talking about it to this day. So parents, teachers, leaders, this program is awesome. So if you have any questions, talk to Jared. So Jared, do you have any feedback from any students that come through your program?
We do, yeah, and a lot of them end up doing some kind of volunteer stuff for us as well. That's right. We're open to that as well, and we just want to get kids involved in the outdoors in whatever capacity that is.
What about adults? Do you let adults come in and
sure? So
they need to get outside.
Yeah,
too?
Adults need to get outside too.
Get outside the grocery store and the beauty salon and the department store. Come to the wild.
Yep, that's right. Yeah, and so we accept groups of any kind, really. It could be a school group, it could be a church group. And what we do is we charge, if it's just an education portion, $5 per person. If it's an education and canoe portion, about $15 per person. And so we're located in Hartselle, and you can find us at waterworksedu.org to register for a field trip or a group trip.
Right, that's awesome. And Jared, like I said, talk a little bit about the nature ramp. I think the nature ramp.
So it kind of goes along the waterworks. We want kids to be outside, but we also want kids to be outside even if they don't come to us.
Right.
NatureRamp.com is a website that we've developed as a tool for parents and teachers. If you want to know where you can take your kid to be outside or do something in science or something like that, they can go to this website, and it's a directory of all the opportunities that you can imagine to get your kids involved in the outdoors. We're talking science museums, education centers, farms, anything and everything that you can think of. We put in this, and we put them on a map, so you can kind of look around and say, is this something that I want my kids to be involved in? And kind of the ramp idea is to take kids from very intro to nature experiences. If they've never been before, we want to kind of let them in easy. So we provide those opportunities. All the way up to environmental education experiences, nature exploration type experiences, all the way up to careers in conservation if that's what they want to do.
Right. So that's great. So like the parents, teachers, whoever, get your kids outside, let them explore outdoors. Get them off those video games, off the couch, out of the refrigerator all the time. Get them out there in nature. I definitely would change their life. I mean, growing up as a kid, I remember Jared not having a program in our community for that, and now we have that. I would get friends. We would go in the woods, and this person would bring candy. I would bring bread. They would bring something. We would get the 2 bricks, and we'd try to grill and barbecue and camp out in the woods. We just want to be a part of nature. So now we have organizations and programs for that, even greater than what we had. So I encourage you to get your kids outside. I'm telling y'all again, Jared is the GOAT when it comes to project management.
And to that, growing up, we could just go out in the woods, and we did. Now we're not seeing that so much, and I think that's why these programs have come along to kind of get kids back outside.
Right, absolutely.
And so just find something to do and go out there and do it.
Yeah, that's it. So we're gonna talk again, Jared, about the the recreation program. You want to share a little about the recreation program?
All these kind of tie in together, and I love it.
See how excited he get when we talk about that. He ready, I'm telling you.
Yeah. So this is a brand new program that we're just in the middle of developing, and really it's to improve our recreational opportunities in North Alabama. That means improving the actual infrastructure, like the actual trails and the bridges and the canoe launches and stuff like that. And so we developed this program to get all these people kind of talking to each other. So the people that are managing land, the people that are owning outfitters and businesses, and the nonprofits that are educating, doing outdoor education, all these people to talk to each other in order to really improve the things. Because this past year, I've talked to Bankhead National Forest, I've talked to Land Trust, and they all say the same thing, that a lot of people got outside last year and took advantage of the trails and being outside, but at the same time, all that traffic really deteriorated the trails and all those trails and bridges and stuff like that. And so there's a lot of maintenance that's still needed. So we want these people talking together, and we want to develop what I'm calling North Alabama Trail and Recreation Fund, so that we can, just like the community grants, but we can actually put money towards improving our trails and our recreation sites.
That's right.
And we also want to promote the places that are in North Alabama that maybe we don't know. So maybe we always go to the state parks, but what's out there we don't really know about.
Right. So that's good. So really getting outside, like I said, getting outside is real educational. You learn things. So Jared doing a great job, just being a project manager, just showing us, other ways we can enhance our life and life of the community. I know just being on this board, I helped some young kids, some older gentlemen, older women. They say they walk in the park, they don't have anything. That's all. They just walking. So I got with another councilman, another board member, and we decided to put outdoor exercise equipment. And they was able now, when they get through walking, they can exercise using equipment. So RCD, I'm telling you, it's a great organization. If you haven't never heard of it, now you have. So just go online. You see the information at the end of the broadcast, and just tune into the website. Reach out to myself and reach out to Jared if you have any questions you want to get your families involved. If you have a group of sisters or brothers who want to get out in nature, Jared can definitely show you the trails and stuff like that. So I'm excited about it, Jared. I'm excited being a board member. And like I said, for 10 years, the first 3 or 4 years, I was like, man, I'm just here. I don't know what's going on. But then I saw, hey, I have an opportunity to really help somebody, change the community, change the way. And I've seen the impact on different communities that when we gave them funds for their projects. If it's nothing else, just putting swing set in the park, slides, or I remember time it was some young kids getting in trouble, Jared, and they love basketball, but they was getting in trouble. They didn't have nowhere to play ball at. So I built a full court basketball court for the kids in the community to stay out of trouble. And through the grant, RCND helped me do that. And that first day we opened up, it was 20, 30 some kids out there playing, and we had no more trouble with kids in the community for a while after that. So I just appreciate RC&D. So Jerry, anything else you want to share with us? We got a few more seconds.
Sure, yeah. What I love about RC&D, it's really a bottom-up organization, right? So we reach out to you, we reach out to the communities to tell us what you need. And so if you do want to be involved, so we are a council, and so you can be a council member. And so if that's something you want to do and have input into these projects and decisions, then you can do that.
So thank you for tuning in to the Encouragement Zone. We thank you for my boy Jared, the GOAT of project management, RC&D.
We hope you were blessed by this program, and it's our prayer you were encouraged. Join us again next on The Encouragement Zone with Bishop T. Davis Jr., where your dreams are revived. Be blessed and see you next time.